One of the great things about having a YouTube channel is you get sent loads of really cool stuff to try out for free. The trouble is, I've not been doing that, and the really cool stuff pile is starting to get out of hand. So in this video, I want to share with you a few products that I'm a big fan of and that I think are worth a closer look. And are these manufacturers promising me shed loads of cash to talk about their products? No, I'm talking about them because they're great products from lovely companies. So the first product I want to talk to you about is this. The all new and very unusual looking brake pad from Gorilla. And who is Gorilla, I hear you ask? And that is a very good question. Gorilla is a small independent based in Lancaster, here in the UK, not far from the Lake District, who specialise in high performance brake pads using various different compound types. I've been using their brake pads for over 3 years now on all of my bikes, and I think it's a fantastic product. Right, so let's crack these open and see what they're all about. This is their all-new NRS1 system, a design like nothing we've seen before. If you were to look at a normal brake pad system, you have your two separate brake pads like that, and that annoying little spring that sits between them to hold them apart. What Gorilla has very cleverly done is they've combined that all into a one-piece design. So Gorilla has used their premium semi-metallic compound on these pads. And what does that mean in plain English? Well, you can expect smooth modulation, increased life, and quiet braking. But what I like about this design is not only does this one-piece design give you very simple installation and removal, but it also increases cooling. Now, another unique feature of the NRS1 system is Gorilla's sustainability program. Now, your first set of these will cost you $29.99 a pair. But what you then do is when you send your worn ones back to Gorilla, free post, they will give you a £10 credit off of your next pair. So that then makes every subsequent pair of these pads $19.99. And when you take into consideration the semi-metallic compound they're using, that makes these pads exceptional value. Now, I'm going to be installing these onto my gravel bike, which I use and abuse on a regular basis, and I will keep you posted as to how these pads perform in future videos. If you've got any comments or questions about these pads, stick them below and you will find a link back to Gorilla's website in the video description. Right, moving swiftly on. Let's get some of these boxes undone. And I want to start with this big one. Stanley. Right, this box contains a load of stuff from a company called RockBros. Now, there are several bits and bobs in here, but I just want to share a couple of them with you today, and we'll save the rest for another video. So, who is RockBros? They are a small manufacturer that specialise in cycling accessories. Everything from cycling specific glasses right up to those sucker type roof rack things for your bike. You know, the things where you stick the roof rack directly onto the body of your car and then you strap your bike to it. Not something I would use personally, because I wouldn't trust myself with it. So this is their funky new handlebar bag. They come in loads of different and very unusual colours. Has a capacity of 1.5 litres and claims to be completely waterproof. But what makes this bag different to most other bags out there is it has a boa style ratchet on the top that allows for quick and easy attachment and removal of the bag onto your bars. Now, I must admit, it does feel like a quality item. Right, let's stick it on a bike and see how it looks. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different and come outside and fit this. Get to see a part of my world you don't normally see. Apologies for the wildlife noise. We have a lot where we live. Right, let's first of all get this old one off. There you go, relatively simple. Right, let's see if we can work out how to fit this. There you go, super easy to fit. Yes, my Garmin out front mount is slightly in the way, but we'll get around that. So there you go. Right, now let's see how much stuff you can get in it. Right, so what would you put in a bag like this? And let's see if it would fit. Well, if it was me, what would I put? I would put my trusty cyclist pump. Don't leave home with that one. That wasn't a controversial video at all, was it? Right, that goes in. Rain cape. Some keys. Lunch. And a mobile phone. And let's see if we can get that done up. Yep, there you go. Went in with ease. Right, but they claim it's waterproof. So let's put that to the test. But before we do that, because it's not mine, we'll take that mobile phone out. Right, let's see if it's waterproof. Stay right there. Right, back in the trusty workshop. Bit of a break from the norm, wasn't it? Right, here we have the RockBros bag wrapped in a trusty dog towel to get the surface water off it. Right, let's see if the contents is dry. Yes, so I'm in two minds about the RockBros Handlebar Bag. It's made very well. It's very cool in all of its different colours. It's practical, and as the test just proved, it's waterproof. And if you're the sort of person that needs to leave your bike in a public place, like in a bike shed or at a public train station or something, then this ratchet mechanism makes it very simple to remove. So what's your beef then, John, I hear you say? Well, it's £58. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 second there's not £58 worth of product here. This is a very well-made product, so I understand why it costs that. But would I spend £58 on a handlebar bag? Especially when you consider the one I've just removed costs a quarter of this bag. I'm going to get this very funky looking one and put it on somebody else's very funky gravel bike. Right, let's open another box. This one. Right, so these things are right up my street. What are they? Well, this is the RapiLock through axle system. When I first made the switch from rim to disc, one of the things that frustrated me the most was the through axle. Now, you primarily get two types. You get the one with the lever like this, which is quite bulky, can be quite heavy, and in some cases you end up with the lever facing in a direction that's not that convenient. And what you then have, as well as those, you have the more simple type, which is made of a very soft alloy and uses a hex key like this one. Now, the problem is they're very, very soft and they eventually round off. This particular one is my one, and I have gone above and beyond to do my best to look after it using good quality hex keys. But you will see, even with my one, over time, it has become sloppy. And it is only a matter of time before I round that one off. So the through axles are beautifully made. You have one for the front and one for the rear. Not only do you have the axle itself, but you also get included in the box various thread lengths and pitches, as well as spacers and adapters. And what this means is the RapiLock through axle system covers over 80% of through axle standards, which is very impressive. And what you also get included in the box is this 1-to-1 scale guide that helps you, using your old through axle, set up the RapiLock axle so it perfectly replicates in size what you're currently using. And let me show you how that works. So we use the enclosed measurement guide to work out the size of our current through axle. The first point, is it straight or coned? Well, our edge is straight. The second thing we need to identify is what pitch, 1, 1.5 or 1.75, whereas we can see if we offer that against, we can see that that is a 1.5 pitch. And then what we need to do is just measure our through axle. And if we put it up against the edge and come to here, it's roughly 118 mil. So we then use the spec chart on the right hand side, straight, 118 mil, we want the purple thread. So there is our purple thread there. Grab our through axle, and if we offer the purple thread onto there, we should then have a perfect match. And we do. But I can hear you all screaming at the screen, that's all well and good, John, but why would you want to do this? And the huge benefit of the RapiLock system is how you undo it and do it back up. As simple as that. One question some of you may have is there a weight penalty to this? Let's find out. Old one, 61 grams. New one, 51 grams, so it's lighter. So what does the swish little RapiLock system cost? They are roughly £50 an axle. And how does that compare to, say, Giant or Cannondale? Well, I'll be completely honest with you, you pay roughly half that for one of their axles, round about £20 each. But if you then go to the other end of the scale and you look at, say, for example, Canyon or Pinarello, you're going to pay a similar price to the RapiLock. Saying that, this particular Pinarello one, I've hunted high and low online and I cannot find it. So if you are in a similar position where you've got a lost or damaged through axle, then basically your bike's unusable. So that price is worth paying, in my opinion. So what is my verdict of this product? It's an exceptionally well-made product. It gives you a little bit of bling, but it also can potentially help you solve a nightmare of a problem. And you can also take this with you. If you change your bike, you can remove these and potentially reconfigure them to work on a different bike. So they get my vote and they're going to be staying on my bike. So what do you think of the workshop set up this new way with the counter worktop between myself and the camera? Previously what I was doing was I was having cameras hanging over my shoulder or stuck to the ceiling, doing demonstrations on the main workbench, but it made it all very clunky and awkward and very difficult to produce. With this new setup with the counter in front, it should be a lot slicker and a bit easier to produce and also easier to do demonstrations. Pick a box up, look, there it is, that's what it looks like. There's your description, there's some stuff. Use your screwdriver, tap it with a hammer, and it should be a lot easier and a lot slicker and a lot smoother. And also, I am more than aware I've got a bad habit of flailing my arms around, pointing at the camera, you should do this, don't forget that, blah, blah, blah. And I know it can be quite annoying reading some of the comments in some of my videos. So hopefully this setup will be a lot smoother and slicker, and in those few occasions where it is in the way, I can actually just remove it and send it out of the way. What are your thoughts? Stick a comment below. Right, anyway, on to our next item, which finds us rooting around once again in the RockBros box, the people that earlier brought us the handlebar bag. And this is the RockBros hidden handlebar lock, even though it says hidden car lock on the box. But the box is made from 100% recyclable material, so I suppose that is the important thing. Right, so let's take a look at this. Right, what's great about this little bike lock is it lives inside your handlebar space until you need it, rather than living in your kit drawer where you constantly forget it. Right, so let's get it out of the packaging and fit it to a bike. Right, so there is the counter removed and replaced with a bike. Quick and easy, took me about 2 minutes. Right. Okay, so let's fit this handlebar lock. Get the handlebar bar plug and pop it out. like so. There you go, simple. And you replace it with the lock mount. 5mm Allen key, and it uses like an expandable plug kind of system, a bit like a handlebar does, I suppose. There you go, do that up tight, and then you get your lock and it inserts into your handlebars, like so. And then to get your lock out, you literally unscrew it and pull. So there you go, the RockBros hidden handlebar lock. I think that is a great little accessory. Yes, agreed, it's not that long, but it's also long enough to go round your frame and hook your beloved bike onto a railing. And yes, it's also not thick enough to stop a determined thief that's going to be wheeling a set of these bad boys, but it will stop the opportunist thief from nabbing your beloved bike from outside the cafe. And for that reason, I think it's well worth its £25 price tag. And apparently they also do a multi-tool that lives on the other end of the handlebar. How clever is that? And I know what some of you are thinking, what does it weigh? Well, let's have a look. 42 grams, which is nothing, equivalent roughly to this chocolate bar, which I'm now going to eat because I'm stuffed. The next thing I want to talk to you about isn't actually a thing, it's an event, the Ribble Valley Ride. Now, the Ribble Valley, the Forest of Bowland and the Yorkshire Dales are some of the most beautiful cycling locations that the UK has to offer. And if you are in the UK and can get yourself to the northwest on Sunday the 9th of June, then I promise you a fantastic day out on the bike with some stunningly beautiful scenery. Riders can choose from 25, 50 or 75 mile routes, and every rider will be entered into a draw where they'll get the opportunity to win a £3,000 Ribble bike. And also, let's not forget, by doing this ride you will be supporting some fantastic charities. Now, I've done this ride before and Bill and his team do a fantastic job of organising a great day cycling. All 3 routes are clearly signed and there are volunteers around should you need any support. If you do need to drive to the start of the event, then there is plenty of parking available. And also, the Ribble Valley Ride is legendary for its food stops. You won't be disappointed. So if you can get yourself to the northwest on the 9th of June, then I promise you, honestly, it'll be a fantastic day out on the bike. So there you go, my quick fire video sharing with you my thoughts on some of the smaller things out there that I think are well worth a closer look. So what do you think of this video format? Should I do this sort of stuff more often? What's your thoughts? Comments below. And additionally, if you would like to know any more details and can't get that information from the links provided, just drop me a message in the comments below and I'll get straight back to you. Thanks for watching.